Hello, Political Science 290 students. I hope you are all being safe and healthy and practicing social distancing. These videos today that you're going to be watching are meant to help you find the resources you need to complete the extended debate analysis and the annotated bibliography for this class. So the first thing we're going to talk about is finding articles in policy journals or policy magazines. So to do that, we're going to start at the library website. So go ahead and go to library.valpo.edu. And once you're there, we're going to go on the right side of the page and click on Subject and Library Guides underneath Quick Links. All right, and once you're there, you're going to want to scroll down to Political Science Resources. All right, it's alphabetical order. And once you get there, you're going to go ahead and click. All right, now you're going to go to your class page. So you'll see I highlighted your political science course. We're going to scroll down to Political Science 290. All right, so in the box on the right side at the top, policy magazines, that's where we're going to talk about these resources. So these publications are where you will find various opinions from political commentators. So always fact check, always make sure they're using good information. Do that with every resource, but that's just a reminder. So the first way we're going to look for these types of articles, because there's a couple ways we can do it. We're going to start in a database and do our keyword search, limit it to magazines, and then after that we're going to look into the individual publications to figure out what their political orientation is and if it's one that we need for our assignment. So let's go ahead and go to the left side and click on Political Science Database. Okay, and if you're off campus, it's going to ask you to log in with your VU credentials. So go ahead and do that. All right, and that takes me in to Political Science Database. So let's go ahead and put in my keyword search here. All right? Okay. So I'm going to look into Medicare for All. Let's go ahead and just push enter and look into that. So this is definitely too broad of a search. I have 60,000 results here, but it's good enough to illustrate how you're going to find these resources. So let's go over to the left side. Remember, what we're going to do is click on magazines. Okay, and from here, we're going to scroll through our results and look for stuff that might be interesting to us. Look at keywords, titles, and see if we can find something that relates to the point of view we're looking at. So let's go ahead and click on this last one. Okay, so if we're going to find out what the political viewpoint of the publication might be, we want to look at the publication title. Okay, in ProQuest, you're going to find it underneath the title of the article, and you're also going to find it underneath the abstract and details. Okay, so we can click on it in the abstract and details, and it's going to tell us a little bit about it, but not everything we need to know. So this is where you really need to be a proactive researcher. So I would suggest taking the title of the publication, copying it, and then just doing a general Google search. Okay, so I'm going to look at this box on the right here. It talks about how this publication is described as the redoubt of neoconservatism and as the neocon Bible. Okay, so this is a neoconservative source. Another way you can figure that out, if you go back to your library research guide, Professor Old has provided a list of these publications. It's not comprehensive, but you can scroll through. First, it looks like it's organizing by country, right? So we're going to go down to the United States. And then from there, it's alphabetical. So we're going to look, see the weekly standard here, and see that it is neoconservative. Okay? So those are a couple ways to figure that out. Another thing you can do, let's say, you've got your conservative point of view and you want to find a much more liberal point of view. You can scroll through this list to find a known title, a known publication, right? So if I was looking at this and let's say I wanted to find a democratic socialist point of view, here I can see that there's a publication called Dissent. So I can take that and go back to my political science database search. I'm going to go to advanced search. And I'm going to leave my keywords here, but I'm going to go to the far right box and search for a specific publication title. All right, and here I'm going to type that title. So let's try Dissent there. All right, so it looks like it's bringing me to articles that are a democratic socialist point of view of Medicare for all. So you can go ahead and click in there and then look for access to the full text. Usually in a ProQuest database, it would pull up right next to the abstract and details there. And if it doesn't, it's going to probably say something over here about accessing full text or finding it at VU. Always try that first, because that means we don't own it in that database, but they're going to look for it in another database. And it looks like it brought us here. So, looks like we have it in Academic Search Premier, a different database. And we're going to look for that PDF full text button. And that takes us to the article. If that doesn't work, you're going to go back to your political science guide, and you can always make an interlibrary loan request. It usually doesn't take that long, and if you're not procrastinating your research, you can have access to that article. All right, so that's how you're going to find those policy journal articles or policy magazine articles. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me. You can email me, you can call me, and we can set up a research consultation, and we can do it over WebEx, we can do it over Google Meet, and I will be happy to help you. Happy researching.